You're watching the Phantoms Cup Final, only on Nick's Hockey Broadcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a big night here at PPL Center, home of the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Tonight's the first of 3 games in the Phantoms Cup Final. This one is in the youth division between the Easton Red Rovers and the Emmaus Hornets. Hello, everybody. My name is Nicholas Garofalo, longtime voice of the Lehigh Valley Scholastic Hockey League. Fourth year covering the Phantoms Cup in Day 5 of this year's tournament. Actually, Day 4, I should say, for this year. Day 5 would be Wednesday if we have a Game 3 in the varsity series, but we'll talk about that series a little bit later on, as this game between Emmaus and Easton is about to get underway. The Emmaus Hornets, neither Emmaus or Easton in the youth division has ever won a Phantoms Cup or championship of any kind. For Emmaus, this is the second straight year they've made the finals. Last year they played the Northampton Concrete Kids and fell to Northampton 5-4. But for Easton, this is their first ever time here in the Phantoms Cup Final. Emmaus enters this one as the number 1 seed, a record of 10-3 in their first game of the Phantoms Cup, which was last Monday. They defeated Parkland 11-1. That was a great win for the Hornets, as they are looking to get their first ever Phantoms Cup championship. They entered this game they had a 5-game winning streak before losing to Easton in the last game of the regular season, and then they beat Parkland recently. As for Emmaus' opponent in the Easton Red Rovers, they are the 2nd seed this year, a record of 11-1-1, and they beat Nazareth 12-4 in the 12-2 in the semifinal last week. As the horn is just sounded here in the warm-ups, as this game is about to get underway. And while we're at it, here is tonight's schedule. So this is the elementary final between Easton and Emmaus. At 7:15, we have the middle school final between Nazareth and Northampton. Then scheduled for 8:30 is Game 2 of the varsity series between the Lehigh Valley Saints and the Northampton Concrete Kids. Northampton leads that series 1-0, and the Concrete Kids can win the championship tonight if the Saints win. While the Game 3 this Wednesday at 7. So the whole Phantoms Cup tournament here could end tonight. JV is already done as Northampton won last week. At the youth and the middle school divisions will be done within the next few hours. It's just a matter of if varsity will be finished up tonight or not. The last few champions for the youth divisions, or youth division, I should say, for the LVSHL have been it's been Northampton the last 2 years, and Parkland winning in 2023 and 2022. So we are going to have a new champion this time around. Admittedly, it is not often where we get players at this young of an age to be broadcasted on the Hockey Broadcast. Although we've done a few games for this in the past, I must admit, it's always fun watching the little guys play for a change, as we're about to see it here. Time for tonight's goaltending. In net for the Emmaus Hornets will be number 53, Brent Beebe, 8-2. Goals against average 2.35, save percentage of .869. And I actually can't see the jersey number on the Easton goaltender. When I see his back, I'll say who it is. As this one is about to get underway. Puck is jumped, and here we go. It's the Hornets and the Red Rovers and the Youth Phantoms Cup of 2026. Both teams trying to win their first ever Phantoms Cup championships. Again, Emmaus made it here last year, falling to Northampton. Easton has never made it to the finals in their team's history. Bankill will bring it over the line on the right wing. He's had a very good season for the Red Rovers. 21 goals, has the second most goals on the team. He's also played 1 game as a goaltender this year, in which he had a tie and a goals against average of 1.20. Hornets bring it on the wing. They'll get a shot, and that's blocked down as they get a wrist shot from the wing there. That was from Beers. And as they tipped back towards the Easton bench, they'll kick it free on the right side. They'll try to get a wrist shot now, go wide of the goaltender. And actually, now I've seen the goaltenders I see his jersey number. It's number 72, Austin Whitcraft. He is undefeated this year, at a record of 10-0. Goals against average 2.75 and his save percentage of .759. So sorry I couldn't say what it was earlier. I couldn't even see if he had numbers on his arms. As the Hornets get a wrist shot from the slot, and that goes wide there from Beers. There's actually a lot of players on Emmaus with the last name starting with the letter B. Beers, BB, Berg, just to name a few. As the Red Rovers move back on the right side, this is Durrani, and that shot goes wide of the goal. Back to the points, controlled there by McDaniel. Will get a shot, and that's blocked down. She'll get a shot, actually. That's Aswin McDaniel. Her brother played for Easton's JV team earlier, or later, I should say, last week. And then steals it away. They try to ring it around the goal, but it would not go there. As they hold their ground. Kept on the point there. Good play. Keep the onside from Blake Beebe. You're going to see Blake and Brent Beebe playing today. Blake wearing 51, Brent wearing 53, who's in net for the Hornets today. And just to mention, for these youth games, they are shorter in length for each period compared to varsity and JV, where as Beebe makes a save, it'll get a whistle to halt play. So the varsity and JV games have 17-minute periods. For youth, they are 12-minute periods, so they're definitely shorter. And a good amount of fans here at PPL Center watching these youngsters play at this professional rink here, PPL Center to be exact. And off this face-off, the Red Rovers kicking back to the high swell. That shot saved there from Beebe off the initial wrist shot from Ava Rivera. Nance tries to steal it away. They'll take it on the right side. Falling down over the blue line there, that was Connor Allen, as they'll clear it into the corner. And for these youngsters, one thing they might notice is that this rink is definitely smaller than what they're used to, because most games for the LVSHL take place at Bethel Municipal Ice Rink. It's an outdoor rink with a roof, but it's an Olympic-sized rink, as Beebe makes a nice save there once again. This rink is NHL, or I should say AHL professional size. It might seem bigger to them because of all the seats, but it's a regulation-size hockey rink here in the heart of Allentown. Easton will control defensively. This is Stubbs. As the Red Rovers attempt to bring it over the line. We have an offside here on McDaniel, and a halt to play with 7:37 to go in the first period. No score early on in this one. A lot of forwards, or I should say, what I really should say is a lot of skaters for both teams. The future of the LVSHL we are witnessing right here. They'll have the face-off on the offside. Up puck is dropped, and we continue to play on as Jackson Fegley won that face-off. We'll try to clear it into the zone. Reaching for his is Cash Dono, and we'll get a halt to play here. That was an offsides here on the Hornets this time. Another thing I want to mention, we haven't had any penalties yet, but the penalties for the youth divisions are a little bit different. Instead of 2-minute penalties, they're for a minute 30. Fegley for the face-off, and he won it. Brings it over the line. Fegley in the slot. Well, wait, risking a shot, and that's blocked down. His brother Porter plays for the Lehigh Valley Saints, who we'll see him play a little bit later tonight. A lot of siblings for older players, at least a lot of names I recognize just from seeing what other teams in the league for right now, and also in recent years as the Hornets did call for an offside. We welcome all of you watching this stream and those of you watching this game a little later on. If you guys are players witnessing the stream or witnessing the broadcast later, thank you for watching. Always a pleasure to get involved with the league, especially for the Phantoms Cup for the last 4 years. Fegley will go for yet another face-off, his third consecutive. He wins that one. Trying to hold on to the puck there after the draw there was Porterfield. Easton tries to skate away here. This was Darren. He gets a shot saved by Beebe, and he'll hold on. Man, Brent Beebe has made several big stops early in this game. We still have a tad less than 9 minutes to go, but he's stood his ground. He's saved 4 of 4 shots so far. I think I mentioned this when I broadcasted Emmaus' JV game the other day. for Emmaus, well, they've had the same uniforms for a little while, looking a lot like the older jerseys belonging to the Dallas Stars in the past age. Pretty much looking exactly like it. Easton, on the other hand, looks like it's like their own custom colors and fonts and everything else. Hornets bring it back. This is Blake Beebe to be exact. Blake with a backhand shot. He missed the net and wide of the goal of Whitcraft. Allen, I beg my pardon. That was actually the stick there of Sub, and that shot saved made by Whitcraft, and he'll hold on as he makes his second save of the night. Not as busy as Brent Beebe so far, but he makes the save regardless there. We'll get a line change now for both teams in this stoppage of play. Face-off will be on the left circle here. Going for this face-off is Coppola for Emmaus. Trying to win it there. Emmaus will try to get it to Sup. It's shot there by Blake Beebe. A pad save is made there off the right leg of Whitcraft. Stubbs will try to skate it away. Wearing the captain patch for the Red Rovers this season. Comes in over the line, lost possession. And Emmaus Easton tried to clear it back to the point. Sup will control here for the Hornets. Nick Sup had it for a moment, lost possession, both teams. And we have 3 Red Rovers accidentally running into each other at center ice, but thankfully they did not hit each other too hard. We've seen miscommunication in hockey before off of unfortunate collisions, but in that case, it wasn't too physical. As the Red Rovers bring it back to the neutral ice, it's his Stubb once again on the onside play, trying to get to the right wing. He was trying to connect to the pass there of a pitch and itch, but back comes Emmaus the other way. They're chasing for it. This is Sup on the backhand shot, saved there, and Beebe was there for the rebound, but he couldn't corral the puck on the right side. Best chance for either team to score. Back comes Stubbs the other way for Easton. On a 1-on-4, Stubbs on the left, a backhand shot, missed the net wide of Beebe. Masuskov will try to hold on in the corner. We have a delayed penalty coming up. This appears to be on the Hornets, and we're going to have our first power play of the game. I'm just waiting for official word on the penalty before I say. Coppola goes in for 2. I was trying to hear what the official said what the penalty was. I actually couldn't hear because I'm wearing my broadcast headset for tonight, so sorry I'm not able to clarify what the penalty is for. But again, it's only a minute 30 power play for Easton as Emmaus tries to chase it back, but they'll clear it back through neutral ice. Banco, again, he has the second most goals on the team, trying to score there, and Beebe makes a save at long range, and he'll hold on with 1:04 to go on the power play. So again, shorter power plays here, but then again, they're shorter periods, so I guess that compensates for that. Easton wins the faceoff. That was one there off the stick there of Deal. So it's a body checking call for Coppola. I was going to say, because when I saw, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but when I saw the official give the signal on the penalty, I never saw that signal before. Back comes a man short-handed on a 2-on-2 to try to drive into the circle, almost having the puck there for a second. That appeared to be the reach of Patella, but he lost his balance. Easton moves back on the power play. Turning back on the left circle there, that was the stick there of Driscoll. The hold on the right side, this is Siebel. Towards the right point, shot on there, weak shot was blocked down. They try to get a chance to develop there from Driscoll, and Emmaus will get it back to the center ice. 20 seconds on the power play. Easton will control here. Brent Beebe almost got tripped up, but he stays on his feet. He brings it over the line. Beebe on the left eye fires a shot, and that slithered wide of the goaltender Whitcraft. Power play will end in 3 seconds. Beebe in front, couldn't pull the trigger. Almost gets it back, tipped off of Easton's stick. And the power play is in out of the box there is Coppola. Red Rovers get it back. Banco as he ran to the forward there of Graham. And the Hornets take it back in the slot to get a shot that's deflected en route, and the official say it stays out. Whitcraft reaches with the glove and prevents the puck from crossing the goal line there. It might have been slithering through. The nets that they are using are not the ones with cameras within the net itself like we've seen in the NHL, so I can't tell you exactly how close it got, but I would think it got pretty close to the goal line at least. .502 remains in the first, no score in the 2026 Phantoms Cup Youth Final. Easton wins the faceoff defensively. Stubbs will skate behind his net. Again, he's the captain for this year for Easton. He'll drive it through, neutralize himself. Stubbs into the Emmaus zone and say glove save by Beebe, unable to cover up as trying to get the rebound there for the Red Rovers was Pinanich, who has 11 goals on the year. Emmaus takes it away briefly. Stubbs trying to get in the way as he took down the stick of beers. Some officials in the stands looking for a call, they're not going to get it. I can understand the idea of maybe that being a penalty, but it seems like a clean play from here. At least I thought it was. They'll get a wrist shot in front. Backhand shot. Save! Whitcraft, he got a piece. Rebound in front. Is it in? Is it safe? I'm so sorry. I got confused with the whole thing. Because when I saw the official putting his arm forward, I thought he was just giving a different type of goal signal there. That is not a goal. Whitcraft with the unbelievable save. Sorry for messing up the call there. I had a little bit of a mental error there, but we remain scoreless. Whitcraft, unbelievable stop. We saw Beebe making great saves there on one side and Whitcraft making stops on the other. So, to be clear, it's scoreless. 4 minutes to go in the period. Trying to bring this puck over the line here. That was McDaniel. This will come right in front. Backhand shot saved by Beebe. As trying to back in the puck out of the zone there was Hasevec for the Hornets. They'll take it back on the right side, try to chip the puck offensively. There was McDaniel. Both teams playing hot potato with the puck. 3.5 to go in the first. Stubbs behind the goal. Another thing why I thought they actually called it a goal where Emmaus was going the players. I thought they were about to go for a fist pump line, but no. Stubbs was trying to get around the defense there, but the Hornets did a good job to jab the puck out of their reach. Control back at center ice. This is Fitch. Fitch had it for a moment. Banco picks it up here for the Red Rovers. Skating on the right side, on onside play, trying to toe drag a shot blocked by a Emmaus stick. That went off of Porterfield. Banks again. Banco, I should say, not Banks, Banco. Banco as he's defensively checked to the boards, but ever so softly. Shot net saved there by the right pad and reflex of Beebe. Banco went down on a knee, trying to keep it in the zone, but he couldn't. Stubbs will skate on back in his own zone here on the right board. Somewhat checked from the side there. Stubbs still has it. He comes it over the line. Stubbs waits and wristing a shot. He scores! Stubbs with his 16th of the season. And the Red Rovers strike first. It's 1-0 Red Rovers. Stubbs now has 8 goals in his last 5 games. He's been on a tear heading into the playoffs, and this is also his second goal of the postseason. He had a goal against Nazareth in the semifinals last week. Stubbs with the first goal, and Easton leads 1-0 with 2 minutes to go in the first period. Easton trying to get an extended lead if they can, as a Red Rover got tripped up heading towards the goal. We have a delayed penalty coming up on the Hornets as a result. Pretty sure that's going to be for a hook, if not a trip. We know it's on Emmaus. It is a hooking call. This will be on Castona, so he goes in for 2. His first penalty of the season, as a matter of fact. This power play will last for the remainder of the period. These power plays are only for a minute 30, and there's a minute 46 and counting to go in the first. As the Red Rovers, being the underdog technically since they're the 2 seed, playing the 1 seed, lead 1-0. A goal from Christian Stubbs. Banco almost lost. Actually, he did lose it there on the corner from Coppola, keeping it short-handed there. Red Rovers move back on the wing. This is Murray coming in over the line, controlling there. Deverny, actually, not Murray, I should say, wrong player, as they'll chase it down on the corner. Some of these jersey numbers, I will admit, can be a little harder to read from a distance. They are smaller, and the Hornets chip it back short-handed. This is Fegley, short-handed, break for Emmaus. Back hit, scores! Beautiful play, short-handed goal for Fegley. With a tad less than 1 minute to go in the period, Emmaus has tied the Laces up at 1 apiece. Fegley, with his 18th of the season, has the second most goals on the Hornets roster this year. He also now has 2 goals in the playoffs, as he scored 1 against Parkland, just like how Stubbs scored 1 game in the semifinal, scored 1 goal in the semifinal last week. And so Emmaus gets a much-needed one. It's still got a long game to go, but it's always nice to tie the game, especially if it's short-handed. Makes it ever more sweeter. 35 seconds left. Shot on net there goes wide of BB on the wrist shot of Pitchinich. Again, with 11 goals on the year, he's one of the top forwards on this Easton team. 25 seconds left. Here is BB. Another snap goes on net. He scores! 2 goals in less than a minute. BB rips it by Whitcraft as the power play for Easton ends. The Hornets lead 2-1 with 20 seconds to go in the period. Blake Beebe, goal number 23 of the season. He's the leader in goals for his Hornets team. And he has now scored goals in 5 straight, in which right now he has 10 goals in the last 5 games, which is incredible. As time is going to expire, let's Stubbs give one shot. He did score, but he does not count. The horn sounded right beforehand. It remains a 2-1 lead for Emmaus after 1. We'll be back for the second period. Second period between Emmaus and Easton in the 2026 Phantoms Cup Youth Championship, or Youth Final, I should say, is about to get underway. Emmaus leads 2-1. Christian Stubbs got the scoring going for the Red Rovers, but Emmaus has scored 2 unanswered, one of them being a shorthanded goal. The first coming from Jackson Fegley, then a goal late in the period from Blake Beebe. Easton thought they had tied the game at 2 at the end of the first, but time expired. And we've had an interesting one here so far at PPL Center. And just to mention, the shots on net are 11-9 in favor of the Red Rovers. Banco in the slot, drifting to the net. Glove save by Blake Beebe. And a very solid first period. He has saved 11 of 12 shots on goal. And I just looked at the replay. If I at any point when I turn the camera from left to right, if I turn it too far, I apologize for that. I try to avoid that for whenever I turn it. I like to keep it like around this. If I turn it too far, I might do it without realizing it, but at least you guys are able to see the ice for the most part. Easton will try to center back to the left dot there. They couldn't control. Banco picks it up, wristing a shot. It whistled wide there. Rebound in front. It's in. They score. We're tied at 2. The Rovers, 59 seconds into the second period, have tied the game at 2 apiece. William Pitchinich with his 12th of the year comes up big for his team as Easton wastes no time early into the second period. Pitchinich has now scored in 4 straight games, and within the last 4 games, he has scored 6 goals. What a streak he has had. And he had 1 game also in the playoffs. In the last game in the semifinals for the youth division against Nazareth last week. As Emmaus controls on the left dot, that shot hit the high part of the goaltender Whitcraft and goes behind the net. As that went behind the goal there, Stubbs, who scored the first goal of tonight's game, controls here. And it's kind of crazy because for the majority of the first period, we had no goals to speak of. We had good chances, but now the goals, they're really coming up here. And one thing I've noticed for the Phantoms Cup games for youth the last few years, we've always seemed to have a lot of goals in these matchups, and it's starting to pick up here, and I think we might get a little more. But who knows? Still entertaining hockey nevertheless. Stubbs will skate it at center, trying to center it across, but trying to get to the puck there was Seabold, but he fell down. He wasn't able to get to the puck anyway, as the pass to him missed him by a little bit there. Coming over the line there for Emmaus, he's Beers, but that's an offside on the Hornets. While we're at this little break, we'll go over a brief recap for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, since we're at their home rink. Why not? Had a bit of a rough weekend. Last Friday, they played home against the Charlotte Checkers. They lost that game 5-3. Then they played Charlotte again here last Saturday, March 7th. They were down 4-0 to the Checkers. They tied the game at 4. David Juracek in his first game as a Phantom actually scored to tie the game for Lehigh Valley, but the Phantoms unfortunately fell 5-4 in OT, and then they lost to the Bridgeport Islanders at Bridgeport 5-4 yesterday. Phantoms do have a busy schedule coming up as they'll be heading to Syracuse on Friday, Wilkes-Barre on Saturday, and then the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins will be coming here to Allentown on Sunday. We play on here. Banco on the defense there, skating on in on the wing. Banco will stop. Controls on the corner. Looks at his options here. Forehands one back towards the left dot, and it went off of a Emmaus stick in front. As Easton attempts to get a package shot, saved by Beebe off the chance of Ava Rivera. Actually, I beg my pardon. That was Griffin Dearity. I thought I saw 24 with the shot, and that was 26. Dearity will control here for the Red Rovers at center ice. Dearity will go over the line, try to get around a few Emmaus defenders, but she'll have to cut it in on the corner, get the shot, and that is saved by Beebe with the left pad. 9.5 to go in the second. We're tied at 2 goals apiece. Here's a shot from the right dot that's blocked down. That was from Driscoll for Easton. They'll flip it down towards the blue line, intercepted by the Red Rovers to get a wrist shot that bounces towards the net of Beebe and wide. Rolling puck goes towards the wing. Kicked on through to the corner by Banco. He's been all over the place. I've seen, at least so far tonight, one of many members of Phantoms youth. Emmaus trying to clear it defensively. A good stick is made there by Fegley. Back comes the other way for Emmaus. This is Allen. Allen lost control as the puck rolls to the corner and possessed by the Easton defense. Driscoll, forehands one back and almost controlled by the Emmaus defense. But back comes Easton. Here's Banco on a break. Banco, one defender behind the backhand shot is saved by B. It's in! They score! The Red Rovers have retaken the lead. Up 3-2. Banco with the goal. He brought it to the goaltender, BB. I thought he made the initial save. It slithers past the goaltender and in. A 3-2 lead for the Red Rovers. Banco is 22nd goal of the season. And how many times we're going to say this? That, for players that have scored in 5 straight games, he is yet another. He had 2 goals and an assist against Nazareth in the semifinal last week. But I feel like this is like the third or fourth time I've seen a player's on a 5-game goal streak. It just keeps happening. But that's another one. How about that for Benko? He now has 10 goals in the last 5 games. Like, I know I've been saying the same number over and over for different players, but that's honestly true. It's crazy. Crazy game so far. Whitcraft makes the save there with his glove, and he'll hold on. 8:07 remains in the second. I'm sorry if I have not been updating the scoreboard on the comment section enough here. I might do that now. When I edit this video later, you'll see the scoreboard on the top left, or actually the top right corner.
Easton, Rovers goal. That goal was unassisted at 8.
And we'll have a whistle for an offsides here on Easton. 7:52 remains in the game. Pretty entertaining hockey game we've had so far as the Red Rovers are up 3-2 shots on goal, 16-11 in favor of the red, white, and black, also known as Easton in this case. Wondering when's the next time we're going to see a varsity team for Easton. Since I've gotten involved with the LVSHL since 2022, I've never seen a varsity team for Easton. I'm willing to bet they've had varsity teams in the past, but not this year. At least they got these teams in the younger ranks as well. Stubbs moves back the other way for the Red Rovers, but we'll have an offsides here on Easton with 7:30 to go. And if you didn't catch it earlier, this will be the first of 3 broadcasts tonight here at Nick's Hockey Broadcast. We have the Middle School Phantoms Cup Final between Nazareth and Northampton. That's scheduled to start at 7:15. Then at 8:30, we have the varsity finals, or the varsity series, game 2 between Northampton and the Lehigh Valley Saints. Concrete Kids lead that series 1-0. They're trying to win their 6th Scholastic Championship, and they're also trying to win actually their 3rd Phantoms Cup. As we have a penalty coming up, this will be on Easton. Emmaus will go on the power play. As we have that penalty on Easton, going in the box's shame is Mackey. He goes in for 2. Actually, for, a minute 30, because these are shorter power plays after all. And a chance for Emmaus to tie the game up at 3, as they're down 3-2 in this high-scoring game. Well, high-scoring period, I should say. The scoring started at the end of the first, really. And Easton goes back shorthanded after they allowed a shorthanded goal earlier in the first, as they get a wrist shot and goal there from the left side there of Rainey, but it will not go as BB made the save. 7 minutes to go in the period. 1:08 to go in the power play. As Beers chips it back on the corner. Beers holding on. Centering across. Nobody there for Emmaus to hold on to it as the puck rolls all the way to neutral ice. Blake Beebe brings it over the line with Beers trying to walk in on that backhand shot. Save with a rebound in front. And I think Whitcraft may have gotten a piece of the second try, regardless of Emmaus unable to capitalize there. 35 seconds on the power play as the Red Rovers clear through neutral ice. They'll move in shorthanded on a 1-on-2. Trying to get a wrist shot saved by BB. Emmaus holds on here on the right boards. Beers at center, chips it to himself, gets it right back. As a winger on the right side, Beers, a wrist shot, scores! Power play goal, Beers! We're tied again now at 3 apiece. Caleb Beers, his 17th of the year. So many high-scoring players scoring for both sides in this game. And I'm going to check to see if he's yet another player who's happened to score 5 goals or 10 goals the last 5 games. Let's see. I'll bet that streak ends here. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. It does. That streak does end. But Beers now has 3 goals in the playoffs now. He had 2 goals and an assist on Parkland last week, so he's had a very good playoffs as well as pretty much every player I've mentioned that has scored. But on the power play, Beers tucks it home. Emmaus gets a much-needed response with 5.5 to go in the second.
Emmaus Hornets
Here's
goal.
Beers, the recent goal scorer, lost possession. Easton controls on the side there, offsides on the Red Rovers.
55, Cash now. Time to go 6
Hope you guys are enjoying this stream, and actually I see currently about 39 of you guys are watching this stream. Thank you for joining. Actually, come to think of it, I always notice we have a good amount of viewers watching the youth games. Again, definitely something we typically don't do much on Nick's Hockey Broadcast. I usually cover games in varsity and college, club college teams, like in the AAU and the ECHA, but it's cool to watch the young guys play every now and then. Stubbs will clear it past the blue line. And it'll go to Fegley. 5 minutes to go in the period in this very entertaining Youth Phantoms Cup final between Emmaus and Easton. Porterfield trying to clear it on out. Taken back there on the right boards there by Pitchinich. Get a shot on goal. It's blocked by Emmaus. Skating back towards the back part of the goal there as the Hornets will deposit the puck all the way down. Both teams will keep their same lines. Actually, no, Emmaus will make a slight change on this time here. Well, actually, in this opportunity, I should say. Banco made a nice move. Actually, that's Stubbs who brought it into the zone. Stubbs risking a shot, and he missed the net. Trying to go glove side there on BB, but didn't have much power to it. And there's a Hornet down. There was a collision on the corner there. That appears to be for Emmaus, Maddox Graham. And he's able to get up on his own power, and that is definitely a good sign. But, you know, if I see Graham back on the ice, and come to think of it, he's actually one of 2 players for Emmaus who's actually wearing a white helmet. Everyone else on the team is wearing black helmets. So hopefully he's good enough to come back later in the game, but you always have to be careful for any injury in every sport, in any sport, I should say. And we play on with 4 minutes to go in the period, and we're still tied at 3 apiece. Nance brings it back on the right side there. They'll try to clear it on in. They'll circle back to the corner. That's Berg. Berg will wait. Berg will try to get past the front. That will not go. His brother Pierceberg is a goaltender, actually, or he played 1 game for Emmaus this year. Banco tried to control, lost possession, ran into a Emmaus player afterwards. As both teams are trying to get control here, as the puck is near the penalty box, flipped to Banco. Try to make some moves around a few Hornets players, and does. Banco took down a Hornets player as he fell down afterwards. That appeared to be Berg. He's okay, but he has a lot of snow on his back. Easton controls. They're going to go in on net. Backhand scores! Connor Driscoll, 7th of the year. Easton back on top, 4-3. Nice goal for Connor Driscoll with his 7th of the season. Easton leads 4-3 with 3 minutes to go in the second period, but the Hornets trying to get a quick response. They're trying to pass it in front from Sup, but that would go wide. Driscoll has scored 5 goals in the last 3 games. Had 2 goals and 2 assists in the semifinal against Nazareth. I mean, it's like every player for Easton, and even in Emmaus, has scored at least a goal or more in that game last week against their teams. I mean, both teams, Emmaus scored, they scored 11 goals in their game, and Easton scored 12, so no wonder those stats are so high.
Rovers goal, scored number 13, Connor Driscoll.
Easton will attempt to chase it back in their own zone here. This is the forward, William Pitchinich. On the Sean Couturier 14. Lost control. It's picked up there back by McDaniel. Asher McDaniel. Forehand one on the wing. Red Rovers move back with a few numbers as they bring it to the Easton zone. They'll go on and on net, and that shot deflected. May have went off the stick, if not the paddle, of BB in goal. I think it might have ricocheted off of him. It might not have. We play on now. Comes in front. BB with the left pad stop. He denies Jay Medicine as he makes a big save with his left pad. 2 minutes to go in the period. This is forehanded the other way by Donal, and Easton will have to hold on. We'll see if either team gets a line change. They will not change anything here. They'll keep the same forwards and defensemen on the ice for the time being. Durenay cuts on the right corner, shoots from the angle, missed the net of BB and wide. Pitching it back to Stubbs on the left dot. Right slide, and that shot deflected. It goes to the net there, and a save is made by BB. Actually, they came from the right point. There's only high slot or close slot between the two circles, not that. I meant to say the right point. Wrong term there. 1:23 remains in the second. Shots in net are now 22-13 Red Rovers. This game is definitely fast-paced. I mean, we're almost done the second period already. And again, the periods are shorter. They're only 12 minutes. But they've been fun to watch, too, with all the goals. Bankill will forehand one back. Try to control back the other way. This was Dereney. Dereney will try to move around the defender. Nice move to the right dot. Wrist shot. Blocker save. BB Gravity brings the puck down. Here's a slap shot blocked off of Emmaus' skate. That went off of, it looked like that was Fegley. It was Fegley with the good defensive play. Then a wrist shot, hit the pipe. He hit the iron with the rubber, the left post of BV. 42 seconds to count to go in the period. Sorry, I forgot to say last minute of the play in the second. I didn't realize we were in the last minute until just now. As Emmaus will try to get one last gasp. 30 seconds left. They'll try to tip it. Both players for both sides fall down as the Red Rovers move in on it. This is Driscoll, who had the recent goal, but he lost control. 20 seconds to go in the period. Driscoll again, skating to the right side. Driscoll, a shot save. BB with his chest. Or actually, it went off his shoulder, I should say. 10 seconds to go. Capola trying to clear it on the right boards. 5 seconds left. Easton trying to get one last chance. 3 seconds. Rishov on the slot save. BB turns it aside. 4-3 Easton after 2. We'll be back for the third period. It should be entertaining to say at the very least. This has been such an entertaining, high-scoring game between these two young hockey teams. And the third period is about to get underway, and actually it's 13-minute periods, not 12. I thought it was 12 initially. My bad. As Easton leads 4-3. Easton also leads the shots on that category, 25-13. As the scoring has gone back and forth for both squads tonight. And there's Graham. Good to see him back on the ice after being tripped up by the stick earlier and clearly was in some discomfort from that play. So he's back on the ice. Good to see for Maddox Graham. This will be skated on back there by Berg. Tyler Berg, to be exact. He's wearing a green jersey. He also has green hockey tape on his stick. There's actually several players I've seen. There's even one player he said, wrap around, scores! Great play! It's Beers! It's tied once more! Beers has now scored the last 2 goals for the Hornets. He's got another one. His 18th of the season. That was definitely fast. 52 seconds into the third period, and Emmaus feels a little better now as they have tied the game at 4. Beers has now he had 2 goals in the semifinal playoff game against Nazareth last game. Actually, it might not have been Nazareth. I'm getting myself mixed up. But in the semifinal, he scored 2 goals, and now he has 2 here. 4 playoff goals in 2 games for Beers. And that was definitely a quick response the Hornets needed to start out the third period. Here's BB on the wing, trying to dance on through. Couldn't get a shot on goal. It's Whitcraft. May have gotten a piece of it. If not, the puck may have hit the side of the net. Wrist shot there by Beers is blocked down. Come to think of it, he's on a hat trick watch right now. A race for it at center. Coming after this puck there is Suck. As the Hornets get a shot from the right boards, deflected off of Easton, sticking wide. Benko will wait here, trying to avoid Graham. Trying to skate around the defender, but he lost the puck. He turned it over there. Try to skate it into the left dot. It'll be circled there by Sup. That shot's blocked out. Rebound in front. Oh, Beers trying to get a deflection in front there, but it was tipped wide. And Easton will now regroup. They'll move back to the center. It's nice move. This is Driscoll on a 1-on-2. 1-on-4 now. Driscoll on the left boards. And he lost possession. Back from the Hornets the other way. And that was actually BB who had it for a second there. Easton will now take it on their own terms here. Backhand on the right side. Hitchovich, but he lost possession. It'll be tipped back to the defense for Easton with 10.5 to go in the period, as Emmaus has just tied the game at 4. Moving to the right dot. Backhand shot wide of the net there of BB. He tried to reach for it with his blocker, but the puck never touched him. Benko getting across the blue line on that tight angle. Waits and fires a shot. He ripped it wide. Good power for Benko, but he misses the net. On the point, Pitchovich, and they'll try to be controlled there on the right side there. That was Garaji who was trying to get a piece of it. First time we've seen him on the ice tonight. A fan shot by Stubbs in the high slot. On the point, shot by Benko, ricocheted, and almost went out of play. I almost thought it went off the safety netting, but no, it just clinged off the high glass. Bouncing puck goes to the net of BB, and he'll get the whistle. The puck it kind of went through his 5-hole, but not all the way through, as he'll hold on with 9:25 to go on this one. I mean, players for both these teams, obviously they know the stakes, trying to win their first ever Phantoms Cup championship, and first time either of these teams in the youth division would win a Phantoms Cup of any kind. But it's a tie game in the third period, 9.5 left. The lead has been changing back and forth. Emmaus will skate back through neutral ice. To now, over the line, wristing a shot deflected off of a Easton stick that went off of the defender, Diverny. Red Rovers move it back on a 2-on-2. Diverny on the right wing here, waits and wristing from the angle. He missed, and that's missed wide of BB in net. Now Easton trying to get a chance in front. They'll try and chase it down, but the Easton Red Rovers defense retrieves the puck first, but we'll have an icing here on the Hornets. Out of all the youth games we've had so far, this has definitely been the closest for this year's Phantoms Cup, as Easton and Emmaus took care of business in their semifinal games, dominating the whole time. But in this case, it's deadlocked at 4 apiece. The top 2 teams of the youth division of the LVSHL. Emmaus, the number 1 seed, Easton being seed number 2. Try to clear it on out, but Easton will attempt to get it back in the circle. Diverny in the slot will hold on here, try to tip it back towards the goal, but it's blocked off another skate. Try to control this with Stubbs. Try to hold on there. McDaniel will have to chase it down, and she'll hold on here for Easton. 8 minutes to go in the game. Next goal is going to be huge, I would say, at the very least. And the Emmaus Hornets go back the other way. Coppola fell down. He's wearing the Burning Parrot number 1, although not as a goaltender, as a skater. This is Diverny. First shot saved by BB. Stubbs trying to pick up the rebound, but we'll have to regroup here. Stubbs on the left boards. Moves to the corner. Stops. Looks around, centering across, tipped off of Emmaus. Stick. Easton trying to get a backhand. That was from Driscoll. Blocked down. Trying to keep it on the point there was Easton. Driscoll couldn't keep it in himself, and the Red Rovers will have to skate it on back in their own zone, or at least through neutral ice. This puck goes off the skate of Driscoll. Driscoll at center. Trying to center it across there for Franklin Field. Couldn't connect on the passing play. 7 minutes left. Still tied at 4. We'll get a whistle with 7:02 to go in this hockey game. And actually, it was a penalty, not a offside. It's a cross-checking call. I was going to say, I was almost wondering in the back of my head if they called a penalty, if I made the wrong call there. I did. So it is a power play coming up for Easton. Cross-checking is the call on Pierce Berg. One of 2 Berg brothers on this team. So Easton, in a tie game, a chance to retake the lead. Although, keep in mind, they allowed a shorthanded goal late in the first period. Banco making some moves there. Skates to the corner. Forehands one back towards the left dot, picked up by Tierney. It's chipped by Emmaus and deflected past the blue line. Actually, it was not cross-checking. I'm sorry. I thought the official was giving a cross-checking signal. It was too many men on the ice on Emmaus. So that's the call there, as Berg will serve it for his team. 6:12 and counting left in the game. Banco on the left dot. Trying to avoid the stick of Beers, and he clears it for Emmaus. Man, he's had a heck of a game. Scoring the last 2 goals for his team, which results in this 4-4 tie. Pichevich will skate on back here. 9 seconds on the power play. Pichevich will bring it into the Emmaus zone. Waits, still holding on to the puck patiently. Takes a shot, and that's blocked by the body of Allen. Comes in front, scores! Right as the power play ends, the Easton goes up 5-4, the biggest game of the hockey game. Huge, huge goal for the Red Rovers as it just came in front of the net of Beebe. They slam it in, and the goal will go to Griffin Tierney, his 26th of the season. Funny is the number of goals he has now matches his jersey number. So, what a coincidence there. Tierney on a 3-game goal streak, 7 goals in the last 3. Had a hat trick against Nazareth in the semifinals last week. But this game is far from over. I mean, obviously, we've had 9 goals in this game. 5-4 Easton, 4-4 Emmaus. So we'll see what happens. Beers had it for a second as the puck goes to Whitcraft, and Whitcraft will make the safe play, especially considering the circumstances of this game. Just cover it up, live to see another day, or fight another day, whichever term you wish to use there. Graham, who it's good to see him back on the ice once more, will go for this big face-off for the Hornets. Against Tierney, the recent goal scorer. It's won by Easton. Turned over in front. Fagley shot. That's blocked. It looked like McDaniel got a piece of it. And the Hornets controlling the corner. Not for long. Easton takes it away. It's Stubbs with the steal. Tierney trying to cut through over the blue line into the Emmaus zone. Tierney will wait. They'll try to get it back towards the high slot, and that's falling down there with McDaniel. We have a collision in the blue line, and Easton will control on back. 4.5 to go in the game. Emmaus trails 5-4. Both teams trying to get their first ever Phantom Cups. Again, Emmaus made it here last year. They lost to Northampton 5-4, which was also a close game. And Emmaus is going to have an opportunity to tie the game. Tripping penalty on the Red Rovers. Big penalty on Easton. They already have the lead, but Emmaus is not going to complain. Tripping call. Trying to see who they're putting in the box of shame here. I'll get word. Actually, here we go. It's going to be on William Pichovich. So he goes in for 2. Only his second penalty of the year. Not a good time for that to happen, but it happens. And we have a timeout called by Emmaus in this very close hockey game with 4:07 left. Timeout has concluded. The score is 5-4 Easton. 4:07 left. A power play for the Hornets as they're trying to get this game tied up once again. Again, the score has been back and forth in many occurrences tonight. And we'll see if that continues, or if not, if the score even stays for what it is, but who knows? Power play has begun for the green and black. Wrist shot off the draw. It's blocked down. Picked up. Beers! Saved by the blocker of Whitcraft. Beers that close to tying it and getting a hat trick. He has scored the last 2 for the Hornets. Back comes Benko for the Red Rovers. They'll chip it in short-handed. Benko, a wrist shot that missed it wide. Bouncing puck will almost go back to center with 3.5 to go. 1 minute to go on the power play. Here's Fegley trying to reach the shot. It's blocked there by the Red Rovers. Good defensive play. That was made by Driscoll, who scored earlier in the second period. BB, 3 minutes to go in the game. Into the Easton zone. Wrist shot. Scores! Tie game at PPL. BB is second of the night. Emmaus has done it. We're tied at 5 with 3:10 left in the hockey game. Both BBs have been excellent. Brent BB in goal. Blake BB as a forward. 2 goals on the night, is 24th of the season. BB now has 5 goals in the playoffs this year. 5 goals in 2 games for him. But given how many goals have been scored, we'll see if we'll even have overtime. We might have someone retake the lead momentarily. I mean, 10 goals in 3 periods in any hockey game is high scoring enough, but these have been 12. Actually, no, they've been 13-minute periods too. Keep that in mind. So who knows? Banco trying to get through center, blocked by Beers. He has 2 on the game. Beers wristing a shot. He missed it wide. Lunging out of his net was Whitcraft, the goaltender for Easton. 2.5 left in the hockey game. Fagley cutting on in. Blocker save, Whitcraft. As this game has been, I know I've said this a few times already, but it has been a very entertaining game, especially for the fans here at PPL. Very good crowd here as well. Parents and supporters for all teams coming to PPL tonight, trying to see their kids, if not friends and teammates, winning championships. 2 minutes left in the hockey game. Puck is rolled back to the corner. Banco skates on the left wing, moves to center. He'll come in over the line. Banco on the right boards, trying to set something up here. Every shot on net for either team is going to be bigger than the last, as we're still tied at 5 in the 2026 Phantoms Cup Youth Final. This is Game 7 for these young lads here playing today. Emmaus moves back the other way. It's Beers! He scores! Hat trick for Beers! Emmaus leads 6-5! What a game for this young man. Caleb Beers, a hat trick, a 6-5 lead with 1:24 left in this outstanding hockey game, his 19th of the season. His 4th hat trick of the year as well. So he's had it. I mean, hat tricks is nothing out of being familiar for him. And his first hat trick against Easton this season. 1:12 left. We'll keep our eyes on goaltender Austin Whitcraft if the Red Rovers pull him to get extra attacker. Last minute to play in regulation. Emmaus up 6-5, trying to get redemption after losing the Phantoms Cup final last year. Easton trying to get there first as well. Emmaus is killing time here as they'll hold it on the corner near the penalty box. They'll chase it for in the corner. Pitchinitz will hold on. We'll wait. Risking a shot. Saved by Beebe. He'll hold on. 33.3 seconds left in the hockey game. Timeout Easton. Definitely a good time to call that, I would say.
Timeout.
And we'll be right back. Timeout has concluded. 6-3 Emmaus. 33.3 seconds remains on the clock. The Easton net is empty. Extra attacker for the Red Rovers. Both teams trying to get the first ever Phantoms Cup. Emmaus losing to Northampton in last year's Phantoms Cup final. Trying to get their first championship right here. Off the draw. Driscoll on the right corner. His shot's blocked there by Fegley. Beebe rings it around the boards. Driscoll picks up, rips a shot, deflected on route and wide. 22 seconds left. Banco on the point. Can't keep it. And Emmaus takes it the other way. It's Beers. He has a hat trick from the empty net. He doesn't shoot it. He passes it, but he will kill time. 10 seconds to go. Intercepted by Fegley. Fegley is shot. He scores! Fegley had the opening goal of the game, and he'll score the closing one. A 7-5 lead for Emmaus with 4 seconds left. What a hockey game as the Emmaus Hornets are about to reach the top of the mountain. This is a moment these young kids will never forget. Time's going to wind down here at PPL Center. For the first time in team history, the Emmaus Hornets are LVSHL Phantoms Cup champions. Brent Beebe, the goaltender, was very good today. He saved 27 of 32. What a game. High scoring. The lead would change on both sides. Again, the Hornets lost in the finals last year. They make it back to the dance, and they get the job done. The players throw their 6 helmets and gloves up to the air like they've just won the Stanley Cup, because for them, this is their Stanley Cup. But it's called a Phantoms Cup in this case. And as the Hornets continue to celebrate, they wait for their opponent in the Red Rovers to start out the handshake line. This is the Stanley Cup. Emmaus ends their season with a record of 11-3, the number 1 seed for the youth division in the playoffs. Easton, on the other hand, they end their season with a record of 11-2-1. And the handshake line has begun, one of the great traditions of our sport. And also, I'll give credit to the audience here at PPL Center. They created quite the atmosphere here. Obviously, we can't fill the stadium to full capacity as we have over 10,000 seats here in the heart of Allentown. But what we do have here, I'll show you guys around. Great crowd here at PPL today. As Trevor Herrick has just given the Emmaus coaches the Phantoms Cup as the team will celebrate deep into the night. Well, we'll see how far. We'll let you see how late. I got to remember, these are not high schoolers. These are youngsters. They probably got school tomorrow. Oh, by deep into the night, I should say just maybe a little later than normal. Let's put it like that. And they get the Phantoms Cup down there as they'll raise it up into the air. Emmaus wins their first ever Phantoms Cup championship and their first ever Scholastic championship as well. I'll now get into a team photo, one that they will hold on to for hopefully years to come. I forgot to mention when Northampton won their JV title last week for the Phantoms Cup, they will mention for each year, for 2026, for example, for each division who won. So, for example, for the youth division, it will say Emmaus Hornets 2026. Great to see this team win their first ever title. These young kids are going to remember this for a long time to come as they are really enjoying this one. Now they're going to go to center ice for that team photo. You know, in the past, I'm not sure if the fans still do this, but they've had their own recaps of these games, and they've showed, especially the youngsters, celebrate with the Phantoms Cup itself in the locker room, and they've done some cool things with it. I wonder if they'll do anything unique with it, but regardless, they're going to have fun with it while they've got it. But I think they're more happy for the fact that they were able to win it rather than just get the trophy itself. And here's the team photo. Photos being taken by Connor Lawrence, and there's some other photographers down there as well. I'm Nicholas Garofol. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Nick's Hockey Broadcast. Final score, Emmaus 7, Easton 5 shots on goal, 32-22. Red Rovers, the Emmaus Hornets, win their first ever Phantoms Cup championship as the youth division season has come to an end. We'll be back for our next game in the middle school championship between Nazareth and Northampton. That game was scheduled for 7:15, but that is obviously going to be delayed as right now it is 7:14 p.m. Good night, good hockey. I'll be back for the middle school game coming up momentarily. Emmaus wins 7-5.